Hi, I'm Darnell with Wave Oven Recipes, and today I'm going to cook up a whole chicken in the Ninja Foodi XL Pro Air Oven. And we're going to see how well it does cooking up a whole chicken right now. Alright, so I've got myself my whole chicken here. It's 5.5 pounds. For seasonings, I'm only going to use Old Bay and Grow Mates Montreal chicken seasoning. You can use the seasonings of your choice. Sometimes I also blend in a little freshly cracked black pepper, but this time I'm just going to go with these two seasonings alone and just going to very simply cover both sides of the chicken with the seasoning. So this is very simple. You can get these ingredients at most supermarkets, have them, and you know, it's nothing complicated, nothing that is hard to find in their stores. These are very commonly available spices and a very nice blend together, I have found. So I just stick with it. I stick with what tastes very good. This Old Bay gives it a nice little kick. The chicken seasoning gives it a nice kind of a chicken seasoned flavor, but this Old Bay kind of helps kick it up just a little bit, and so that goes along really well with chicken seasoning. So just going to cover this here like that, and then I'm going to, as I flip this chicken, I'm going to throw it over here into the bake pan. So got my bake pan here, and I'm going to cover this chicken all over with the seasoning while I've got it in my bake pan, like so. So just getting it all over really good. I want to point out that nothing in this video is sponsored, nothing was given to me in this video as well. These are just spices and things that I like to use, and the cooker was paid for by me. So just getting some of this Old Bay on here. And you can use as much or as little as you prefer, because it's your chicken. You just do what you feel is good for you and your family. Use what works good for you. Or if you want to try these, I recommend trying them. I like them. I like these spices and things myself, and I like to throw it on a little thick. You might want to go a little easier if you don't want as much spicy spice on your chicken. But alright, we've got it all spiced up pretty good. Now I've got my iGrill 2 here, and I've got a couple of meat probes that I'm going to use. And so I'm going to take one of these meat probes, this first one, which is in the first jack. I'm going to stick it down into our breast meat. So stick it on down in there. And the second one I'm going to try and put in the thigh. I very often don't get the thigh meat probe right, but I do what I can. So got it all in there. Now what I do with this cooker, because the 90-second preheat, if you've seen my initial review video, is kind of, in my humble opinion, a little bit of a joke. It doesn't really preheat things very far in 90 seconds. I mean, it goes up to like 100-some degrees in my testing. Not even over 200 degrees in that 90-second preheat. So I just put my food in during the preheat and just let it, set through that quickie 90-second thing that they do with this cooker as far as its preheating is concerned. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn the cooker on, and I'm going to take the function button over to roast. Whole roast, not just any roast, not air roast, but the whole roast option, which is the first option of all available. And I'm going to adjust my time, and this is just to have sufficient time to count down from. This is not how long it's going to take, Lord willing. I do not believe it'll take 2 hours, but I just set it 2 hours because I'm cooking the temp. I'm cooking the temp, and so I just want to track the time while I'm cooking. I'm just turning my iGrill 2 on so that I can keep track of temperature. You can see my breast meat is 39 degrees. My thigh meat's like 38 degrees. And so I've got the temperature. I'm going to keep it at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. You see it recommends rack level 1. I do have things on rack level 1. I'm just going to free up some of this cord so I don't have any excess cord in the cooker, and just kind of detangle this just a touch for the sake of that. But now I'm going to go ahead and hit start. We'll let it go ahead and cook, and I'll bring you back when the temperature is up there a bit, or if I need to do anything before it finishes, but I'll just bring you back later. Alright, so this bird's been cooking for roughly an hour if you count that 90-second quickie preheat that they, do. So at this point, the breast meat is at 137 degrees, the thigh is at 156, probably because of those heating elements on the bottom. But I'm going to do something I don't usually do with these cooks. I'm going to go ahead and put some foil on the top, because I'm seeing that the top is already pretty brown, and we've got like at least 30 degrees or so to go. So I'll open up here, and I'll just kind of let you have a little look. You can see it's getting pretty well cooked in there. So I'm just going to try and put the foil around the top here, just gently over the top of it, just like that. Lord willing, the fan won't blow it around too much. I don't have it very secure. I'm just kind of covering up the bird with it in general. I'm going to close up, see what happens. So now that I've closed up, I don't see foil moving. The foil is kind of in place. Let me just kind of in the back. I think it kind of blew up. Oh no, that's the probe. That's the probe where it's kind of sticking up. I'd have to kind of like form it around the probe, and probably press over the probe to kind of split the foil over the probe. I'm not going to do all that. I just want to give it a little general cover in general, and most of it's covered anyway, and the foil's not moving due to the fan or anything, which means the fan isn't blowing it too hard, which is cool for this case. But we're about an hour in. We're almost done. We're not done yet, but we'll let it keep on cooking and see if that foil helps to keep the top from getting very overdone. I mean, usually I don't mind, but the way it's looking, I just kind of felt maybe I should throw some foil on there. I'll bring you back. Alright, we're just about an hour, 20 minutes in, and this 5.5-pound bird has reached 165 degrees in the breast. I know some of you would stop right there. I'm going to let it go up to 170 before I pull it out. I am aware of carryover. I could pull it at 165, let carryover, take it a little further without still having it in the cooker, but I'm going to let it cook to 170, then pull it. And the thigh meat is reading about 190. It's getting kind of hot down there. But I like to make sure that mine is very well thoroughly cooked from the cook. Sometimes I rely on the carryover, sometimes I don't. But for this one, I'm going to let it go just 5 more degrees. Then I'll bring you back and we'll pull it on out of there. Alright, so things have been cooking for an hour, 25 minutes. And we have reached the 170 degree mark that I wanted. And the breast and the thigh were all the way up to 194, so we're real hot down there. So I'm just going to turn things off at this point. I'm going to turn my eye grill off, get these probes on out of here. I'm going to get this bird out, and we'll just I'll just kind of take the foil off the top while pulling it out so we can see how it looks getting it out. You can see it looks pretty nice. So just taking it up there, and ooh, that stuff's hot. But there we go. And so it looks pretty nice to me. I'm going to let it set for about 10 minutes. I'm going to cover it back up, let it set for about 10 minutes to try and reabsorb some juices. Then we'll get into some cutting, plating, and taste testing. Alright, so things have been setting here, just kind of resting. You see the juices are kind of coming out into the drainage there because those juices kind of go in during the cook, and once you stop the cook, they start trying to come out into the meat, and they kind of come out in excess, and that's a good thing. You want that juice to kind of come out all through your meat. And so we're going to take the lid off of there, have a look at this beautiful bird. It looks very nice. Going to go ahead and cut myself a slice right down here in the breast. You can see it's very nicely cooked. I mean, there's like juice all down in there. Juice all down in there. All I see is juice. It's juicy, juicy. That looks good. I'm going to just go down on this other side of it here just to get a piece of this meat off. This meat is very moist and tender. So very good roasting. So I'm just getting some pieces here off. I'm just going to just cut that one in half there, just to kind of make myself some little pieces. But let's move the camera and do a taste test right now. Alright, here's the chicken, nice and piping hot. I'm going to go ahead and take a piece to taste. Going to take another piece for sure, with some of that skin on there. Fabulous. So all I can say is dinner is served, for real. That's some good stuff. Impressed, definitely impressed. I mean, you know, there's some folks who want a rotisserie for rotisserie the chicken. I will say, in my opinion, you don't need one when roasting a chicken in this Ninja Foodi. It comes out so tender and juicy. You don't need a rotisserie. That's how tender and juicy this meat and this chicken is, and I mean that for real. So, basically with this, you know, we're going to call this a wrap, and me and family going to have dinner. And so basically, let me just tell you before we go, in the video description, you can find a referral link for this cooker. Also to my Amazon shop, I get a nice little commission. You don't pay anything extra. Also, you can find a join link there to join as a member of this channel. That gives you some nice perks over and above what you'd regularly get from this channel. And also, if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, share the video with a friend, leave your comments, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and good eating.